Yes, just do it. Hi, everyone. Whew. A little kind of crazy today. Oh, and there goes my eye. My apologies. It's almost better now, but my week being in the courtroom, we weren't out very often except at lunch, so I was recycled air all the time, and that usually dries my eye out. So unfortunately, it got to be kind of an annoyance. All right, let me sure. Oh my God, here. I think the light's not too bad in here. I'm hiding out in the guest room right now. It's 8 a.m. for me. My husband's watching the news. My son's banging around, getting ready to go to work. The other camera's here just so that you can see what I'm doing kind of in a minute. Oh, hi, Beverly. Good morning. Beverly Atkins has joined us. This one was kind of impromptu because I wasn't sure about court being done and all that, but we were all finished up by Wednesday afternoon, so I came home and quickly scheduled it so I wouldn't forget. Oh, my nose is itchy this morning too. Cheers, coffee. And I'm wearing small earrings, but if I come closer to the camera, you can kind of see them. Little Christmas trees. Didn't you guys see that? The light in here is only so, I'm afraid, but unfortunately I have to do this 8 in the morning, but that's a good time, actually. My mouse keeps going wild everywhere. How are you this morning, Beverly? These earrings I have had for, I don't know, 15 years. I think they were from Avon back in the day. I'm not really sure. I just know I've had them for a long time. I've got the other camera here. Oh, thank you. That's good. You're doing good. I'm okay now, Beverly. We're back to routine and everything. Yeah, oh man, what is wrong with my nose this morning? Yeah. I'm gonna go see the doctor next week about my eye because I don't know that anything is actually wrong with it, but I want to double check. It just seems to be. It bugs me if I'm, we're air conditioning in the summer sometimes. I guess it just dries my eyes out. I don't know. It's only my right eye though for some weird reason. Anyway. But it's almost gone. It just dribbles a little bit right now, which makes me not be able to see. I'm not really sure how I'm going to set up for 2 weeks from now for my next live. I might have to be back in here or maybe in the courtroom. I don't know. Next Tuesday, the 12th, is my husband's birthday. And right around that time is when we get our Christmas tree. We usually let it sit for a couple days underneath the deck just to kind of loosen up a little bit, and then it comes in and gets set up and we put stuff on it. And roundabout then is when we start like wrapping up the presents and putting them underneath. We don't do a heck of a lot, but get it done anyway. I've only got a couple things. Jury duty kind of delayed my Christmas shopping somewhat. My son and I are going to go out tomorrow and work on a couple things, see what we can get done. He's got to get something for his grandma because we do a Christmas exchange draw thing with my family. And we got to pick up what we're giving my husband for his birthday. So once we sort of get going with getting everything wrapped and organized, I tidy up some stuff in the craft room because usually I have things all over the place. You guys have seen me film in there before. You know what it looks like. But that big table is really good for wrapping stuff. And we have one of those big roll-out plastic tubs that go under your bed that we have all the bags and the wrap and all that and stuff in. And that just goes in there and it all gets done kind of at the same time and under the tree and that's it. So depending what the craft room looks like 2 weeks from now, which is the 22nd, 23rd, I'm not really sure what the date is anyway, close to Christmas. We'll see where I'm going to be and what I'm doing. I have no idea at this point in time. Don't know yet. You've never been called for jury duty. Oh, well, actually, Beverly, it was more interesting than I had thought. It was kind of good to know some of the ins and outs of the Canadian judicial system. That's about all I can say. I can't really talk about it, obviously. I did get called once before, but I never got called in. Like, I just sat in the big room with a bunch of people and read my book, and then we all went home. So this time I got called in. And the people I was on jury with, it was a pretty good group. We were all friendly and getting along, and we did have some fun. It wasn't all drudgery. So that was all right. I'm going to just switch cameras because I am actually doing binding on a mug rug. So let me just twiddle this around for a second. Hold on. Settings. That's why I got the phone hovering beside me. There. Okay, so hopefully you can still see this. And I'm going to take my glasses off because I have a hard time seeing up close now. I guess I need to have new glasses, but that's going to be a after Christmas kind of deal, I think. Okay, I'll get the camera there. There we go. I put some red thread into my needle that pretty much matches this binding. I'll come back and look at chat in a second. It may only be you and me, Beverly, but that's okay. As I said, this was impromptu, so just give me a second. And I'm just, it's really, really hard to see because I can't get the camera that close, but I have a very small stitch. The thread comes out right there. You can see that right at the end of my thumbnail. So I go just into the fabric of the mug rug, a little bit to one side of the thread, depending which way you're going, right? Oh, there goes my needle. Go in the direction of travel, I guess you could call it. There we go. Start again. So, and I kind of hold it flat with my fingers on the back so it's not all wobbling around. Put my thumb there to keep the binding flat from moving. Needle goes underneath just into the top fabric of, this is the backing actually, just into the fabric, not all the way through, just a little bit. Slide it along a little to the other side of the thread and pull it out. I think this is called slip stitch, but don't quote me on that because I'm not positive. And you can just sort of get in a rhythm of sliding your fingers along. I've got clips on it, so once I get kind of the clip in the way, I just take it out. But I press this over really good and put the clips in. Then when I get around where I've done enough clips, then I'll just do some repressing with the next bit and put more clips on it. And it just helps to keep it flat before I get a chance to get in there sewing on it. Can you see this okay? You're just taking a really small stitch, and that's why you have thread that matches your binding, because you can't really see it. When you're stitching on when your needle goes through the fabric of the backing, you're like underneath the binding sort of, so you can't really see it there. And my stitches usually wind up being approximately 1/8 of an inch apart. I mean, I'm not measuring them or anything, but I don't do hand binding that often, but for a mud rug, it's not that bad. And I did have to fix it up. Do it this way for that table runner that I made my daughter because I messed it up the first time. So lesson learned on that one. That's all right. It's good to try new stuff because you never know. Might work. If it works for somebody, great. You just got to find whatever works for you. I was just lifting up the project to sort of let my needle and thread hang a bit. That helps it not get all like twisted up and potential knots and things like that. That one's a little too far. I don't even know what size needle this is. It's just one of the ones that I keep in my little pin cushion. It's fairly sharp. And it's pretty sturdy. It's not some little flimsy thing. Just to make sure you're going in the right spot, it's good to have a somewhat sturdy needle, but it's not super thick either. Oops, that was too far over. And my eyes are not cooperating again. There we go. I'm just going to get to the corner here and then I'll come back to the other camera. So you don't have to listen to me yap the whole time. The phone camera is only kind of getting this anyway. Let me just twiddle it one more time. I figured this trick out when I was doing cross stitch way back in the day. There. Okay, just about to the corner. I don't know if you can hear the dim noise of the fan, but that's in my son's bathroom downstairs. So he's off to work shortly. Because it is, what does my watch say? 8:10. Okay, now I got to the corner. Can you guys see that? There's where the miter is. Sometimes I go up the miter a smidge just to take a couple like tacking stitches just so it doesn't flap around. I mean, it's folded down pretty tight and I pressed the heck out of it, so it should be fine. But slide a couple stitches up just like along the edge of where the miter is, just to be sure. And then I just kind of do one coming back like the opposite way. Now I gotta hold it weird, sorry. What I'm thinking. Just a second, I just dropped the needle. Okay, so now we hold it the other way. And I just kind of slide it back under the edge of the miter. Come back out to the corner. There, okay. Let me just get a stitch going down the other side. There, okay. I'll mess around with that later on today. Won't take me very long. It's for a friend of mine who I likely won't even see until some point next week. Anyway, because she is coming home from Disneyland tomorrow, so I have to give her a call on Sunday. There we go. Back to this. Okay. Hi. Oh, Chloe. Hi there. Sorry, Chloe came in. You came in when I was on the other screen. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. There. Okay, now I'll put my glasses back on. Oh my goodness, that's another thing. Need new glasses. Everything has to get done. And everything got screwed up for time. So there we go. Okay. In a little while, I'm going out for coffee with a friend of mine. We did try to do it 2 weeks ago, but that was our first full day of testimony. I could have probably squeezed it in, but BC Supreme Court, the standard court hours are 10 till 4. And we had to be there ready to go in the jury room for like 9:30. So just so we were all ready. And then when they were ready to go in the courtroom, because sometimes they have, like judge and counsel have to discuss things where we're not allowed to listen to it. Just depends what's going on. So then we had a sheriff looking after us because the Sheriff Service of BC is the law enforcement portion of the court system. And they also make sure that we're all okay, and they supplied us with water in the mini fridge and blah blah blah. But our sheriff was kind of in charge of us the whole time, and he just would take us in to sit in the jury box when everything was ready to go. So that's why I couldn't really do my live 2 weeks ago and go out for coffee with my friend, because for one thing, courthouse is downtown, and I live almost as far as you can go on the other side of town. I mean, not totally, but it's pretty close. So it wasn't like it was like a 5-minute journey. It was, yeah. So I just thought the timing was too tight. But I should get back to my regular every 2 weeks. Oh, hello, Lisa. Awkward Quilter GA. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. What are you working on? Or just working? Boring working? I'm going to have a video of doing those mug rugs because I already made one and gave it to a friend. So I sort of did like two mug rugs at the same time video. I'll upload that sometime, I don't know, next week, whatever. And I will do a little snippet of my earrings of the day in it, like I did the one for my daughter's table runner a couple days ago. I've been working on that for a while, but I was finally able to give it to her, so that's why I did it. Because she subscribes to my channel and she sees everything, so I didn't want her to see it. Oh, work, Lisa says. Yeah, I hear it. I had to do a little bit of that when I was all done with court. I did my emails every day, but there was a couple of people just had a question. No one's really booking things right now. It's just everyone's ready for Christmas and it's just too busy, and it's fine. That's okay. I'm set. I got my daughter and her friend that are doing their cruise in March, so they're finishing up their payments. And I have another client that's also cruising at the end of March, and she's got to finish up her payment, but that's about it. And then after Christmas, I have to give some documents to some clients that are sailing early January. But that's as far as my work goes right now. And I'm fiddling around with things for my husband's business because that's part of my work too, with doing the books and all that. So, yeah. So yesterday I was catching up on all that stuff. So all good. And Chloe is doing hand embroidery daisies for a mini quilt. Ooh. That sounds cool. I do want to get back to doing cross stitch, which I hope to do live again someday. But again, I really need new glasses, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. These are not bad. I mean, I can walk around. I can function during the day. I don't fall downstairs or anything like that. But I think perhaps these are progressives, right? So I use them for both. I think perhaps my close-up has actually gotten better. So when I was doing that hand stitching, I had to take them off because I can't see with them on. And that's sort of a somewhat new development. So I guess I do need to get new glasses, but it's not a hardship to just take them off if I need to. That's what I used to do way back before I even got I think these are my second round of progressives, but they're also like 3 years old. So that's why. So we'll see how the eyeballs hold out, and then maybe I can actually just do old school and take them off and still show you guys cross stitch. There's one thing I want to finish. I was making this design of like little teacups. It's yellow and blue. Looks really cute. And I have enough blue. Oh, Katie Craft is in here. Thanks for coming. I have enough blue fabric and scrap and whatever. I want to make myself a tea cozy because now we have tea and we do a pot of tea and we take a towel out of the cupboard and just kind of tie it all, like wrap it all around. Not really all that great. And I'm pretty sure I have enough cotton batting. And I even liked a video from way back when from somebody making a tea cozy. And I think all I have to do on this thing is backstitch. And it's done. I haven't even looked at it in ages, but that's kind of what I was thinking of. Maybe after Christmas I'll do that. Because it doesn't really have to be a Christmas project, so I don't know, whatever. I'm also in the midst of making myself Christmas coasters, which I'm doing a video for. So before Christmas, you'll have 2 more of my quilty craft videos, but that's about it. The rest of it's going to be my earrings of the day, probably. I just don't have time to do anything else. Oh, hello, Lynn Violet. She's coming in from the UK. Hello, Kelly and everyone, just home from work. And Lisa Awkward Quilter says, just got new progressives. My eyesight shifted because of the eye hood droop. Pains of aging. Yeah, I kind of have that too. Lisa, it's my mom. I think my mom. She actually got hers like fixed way back when because it was becoming too much of a problem. So I might have to do that eventually too. And of course, this dry, dribbly eye doesn't help a heck of a lot. Yeah. It was kind of getting not too bad, and then when we were deliberating on Tuesday night, we all had to go to a hotel. So then I'm in a hotel room with Circled Air, and yeah, wasn't helpful. However, it isn't too terrible, so everyone's just saying hi to. Oh yeah, yeah, everyone. Yeah, yes, I did, Lynn. I was just saying earlier that it was interesting, and the group of us we were a good group. Everyone's getting along. It was fine. I can't really talk about the case, obviously. As far as like the court system and all that, that was interesting. It was kind of good to have an insight of actually what goes on, and we were looked after extremely well. I mean, the judge was great. The sheriffs were great. We were totally looked after. It was not a problem. We had no issues with that part of it at all. There was a lot of like waiting around though, because sometimes we can't hear things. Like the judge actually came to talk to us. Everything was said and done just for feedback because she said she hadn't done a jury trial in that courtroom before. Most of the local courthouse just has like provincial court, so the smaller courtrooms, traffic, that kind of stuff, right? Minor stuff. But there's one bigger Supreme Court if you need to have a jury trial. So that's where you were. And the judge was just trying to ask us sort of how things went. And, so we gave her some feedback about sometimes it was hard to see, not totally hard to see the witnesses, but everybody has monitors, like counsel has monitors and the clerks have monitors. And so we were just sort of working on logistics. Like maybe it would be better if the witness box wasn't on the far side of the clerks, or we were just telling her that kind of stuff because she said she'd never done a jury trial before. So she's like, I need to know this. If you guys think there's things that could be better, and then she'll tell all the other justices, hey, keep an eye out for this, right? So that part of it was good. And she's a hockey fan, so we were able to get the score from the Canucks in Jersey the night before, which was not all that great, but anyway. I'm kind of doing this too to try to see the chat. This is pretty bad. Oh well. My laptop is currently just sitting on my lap, and I'm sitting up against the head of the bed. What time are we at here? I was the only one allowed to keep my watch because everybody else has the watch that connects to internet, and mine doesn't. Mine just has the time and my steps and my heart rate and all that. Because we have to surrender our phones. Like when you start deliberating, there's no access to nothing. There was just us. We couldn't separate. Like we all went for dinner and then came back, and like when we were having dinner, like the sheriff had to escort us around the corner to the bathroom and like stand outside and wait for us because we couldn't just wander off on our own. Like they're super careful about that kind of stuff. We all had to stay together, and you couldn't do like conversations with just two of you, right? It was conversations all together or not at all. That was kind of different, but rules are rules. So now you guys, I mean, obviously not all of you live in Canada, so wherever you are, your justice system would be similar, but not necessarily the same. Lynn says her neighbor was on jury duty the last couple of weeks. I've never been called up. For here, they do it by the provincial voter roll. So when do we have a provincial election? I think it was just before you know what started. Late 2019, maybe? I can't remember exactly. Anyway, so if your name is on the voter list to vote in the province of British Columbia for our provincial officials, provincial capitals in Victoria, if you're going on a cruise and you go into town and you tour stuff, it's a great big thing, looks like Parliament buildings, kind of, but it's not Parliament, it's the legislature. BC Provincial Legislature. And our provincial officials are called members of the Legislative Assembly, or MLAs for short, and the leader of the province is called the Premier. So there you go. There's a little bit of political stuff for you. But that's how they get your name to send you the summons. It comes on a green piece of paper. You have a summons number. You have what they call it, not a juror number. Maybe it was a juror number, actually. I just tossed it. I forget what it was now. But you can look up, you can use that jury number. You can look up things online on the Supreme Court website. My husband's never been called. And now that I've done this, they wouldn't even call me again for 2 years. So when you get to be, oh no, you know what? Way back when, I was called and we were going to be on a cruise, like on the selection day. So I had to call them and say, this is paid up. I'm gone. I'm out of town. I'm not even in the city. So, okay, up front, like that stuff's whatever, fine. Or if you have health concerns or whatever, that maybe you couldn't do it or that kind of thing. Once you reach 65 and are like retirement age, kind of, then you can just say, no, I'm 60, whatever. I'm not doing it. So it's up to you. So what time are we at? 8:30. Sorry, this is kind of a boring live. I don't really have too much to talk to you guys about other than just catch up because I missed 2 weeks ago. Also, I wasn't super concerned because my American friends, you just were in Thanksgiving and the whole thing, and you're probably busy, so it's probably just as well I didn't do it 2 weeks ago. Anyway. And of course, just having finished my whole jury thing, I don't really have anything to really do that I can really show you other than trying to finish up that mud rug. So yeah, this one kind of is what it is. And some of you came in after I was talking about it, but the next one in 2 weeks could be kind of is what it is too, depending on what's going on just before Christmas. I don't know. I'll do something though. Merry Christmas, catch up. Hey, hope everybody has a good holiday, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So for now, since I'm not doing anything and we're just yapping, I'm just going to shut this down. Yeah, because we only have for half an hour. I don't need to yarn on at you guys all day. I probably should throw a load of laundry in before I go for coffee with my friend. I think when I get back later on, I might work on my coasters a bit more. When I'm all done with it, I'll get the video up for you. Okay, and yes, and now I showed only when Beverly was here, but you can see my earrings of the day. Yeah, baby trees. I do have some snowman earrings I'm going to wear later on that are the same vintage of these, like ages ago, 20 years maybe even. When my kids were little, I don't honestly remember. I've just had them for such a long time. They've always been in my drawer. All right, so take care, everybody. Hope you all have a good weekend. We're having family over on Sunday for dinner for my husband's birthday party celebration. Other than that, it's pretty quiet. Carry on during the week. I will see you all around YouTube, more than likely, on various lives and comments and whatever. Bye, Beverly. Bye, Lynn. Take care, everyone. Mwah.